Hello, folks. We're live for Wildcard Wednesday, and I'm in Louisiana, and we've got Thomas Meadow in Massachusetts, Eric.
Hello, everybody.
We've got JoJo in Massachusetts, and we've got Bumpy Road Jesse in New Hampshire.
Awesome.
So I am bringing a strong beer tonight. I have try to get the glare off of it. Hurricane High Gravity Malt Liquor, introduced in 2005, 8.1% alcohol. I was reading some of the sales sheets for it, and it was saying this delightful product pairs well with so many different foods. Bring it to your barbecue and share it with your friends. It has a slightly fruity, sweet finish, and I was like, okay. So what? Y'all start presenting what you're gonna. We'll go Eric, and then JoJo, and then Jesse, and then I'll be right back. My glasses got smudged. I want to kind of rinse them. Okay.
Okay. I have from the Night Shift Brewing Company, Everett, Massachusetts, where this one was canned, their flagship headquarters. Again, Night Shift Brewing, this is their Dynasty. This is their Imperial Stout. Website says it clocks in at 10.6%. Our can, which says 12/12/2019 canning date, lists the beer today at 9.4% alcohol by volume. So we're looking forward to trying this for the first time ever.
I was just at Night Shift this past Saturday, Eric.
Nice. They got a lot of good hoppy.
Good brewery there.
But I haven't tried many of their stouts. Looking forward to this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the banana bread beer. This is actually out of the UK. Eagle Brewery in Bedford, UK. It's 5.2% alcohol by volume.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's up? And 18 IBUs. It is labeled a flavored malt beverage lager blend.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's in a small guy too. It's 11.2 ounces. So.
Gotcha.
I have something that's not in a small guy. I have a 32-ounce crowler.
Nice.
Yeah,
from Sawbelly Brewing. They're out of Exeter, New Hampshire, and this is their Deep Rapture Porter. And got this canned at the brewery on January 20th, and it's 7.1% ABV.
Was it expensive?
No, it was $10 for the crowler. Not bad at all.
Very nice.
Oh, that's a deal. Now, live from Colorado, we have Thrash Metal Homebrew.
Cheers. I didn't even know we were live. Now we are.
Yeah.
Here he is. All right. We're doing New Belgian Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
A favorite of the drunken one.
Yeah.
Classic. Nice.
This I'm gonna put my other eyes on.
Spectacles.
Oh, let's see here. I know this thing's what, 9%? Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 9%. It's Imperial Pale Ale. So your India Pale Ale, sorry. A rare blend of choice hops creates an explosion of fresh cut pine and citrus flavor for the complex, rich, and delicate finish. Let's crack this baby open.
All right.
All right, so I have the and we want to appreciate. We want to say we appreciate everybody joining. So welcome everybody.
Appreciate.
I have the Hurricane High Gravity, like I said, introduced in 2005. It's hard to get the glass bottles around here, but in Baton Rouge they have the glass bottles. We get the cans. 10 IBUs. So 10 international bitterness units and 8.1% alcohol. So if you're into bitterness, it's not going to really work. But it's made with water, barley malt, malt extract, hops, hop extract, rice, and corn. So it's a multi-grain beer, and they say we're supposed to have multi-grains. So malt liquor, always malt liquor. What you know about that? So here we go. So it's very orange, golden, not much head, but it's a wide brim glass, kind of I don't know what you call this, a globe glass. It's a kind of wine glass. Smells bready, yeasty. Helles Doppelbock. Cheers.
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 Now the company says it pairs well with so many varieties of food. I think it would go well with some artichoke crab dip. I think it would go well with fried catfish, and French fries with a side salad. Now, and of course some tartar sauce and cocktail sauce. And some buttered bread. The flavor is full. It's a full flavor. It's rich malt, rich corn, rich rice. No bitterness really to speak of. It's a high medium body, and it's a fairly crisp finish. I don't think it's the freshest. It's not too out of date, but it's not the freshest version. I did get one that my friend David and I did a review of, and that was made in like December. And so it was really fresh, and it was dynamite, and we were drinking it, and we shared it, and he really enjoyed it. And we both gave it an A, if you can believe it. But I'm not giving it a score right now. I'm just saying when we did it. So I think people are going to like that video that we did. Now here's a few comments. Y'all can read them. Never heard of that one, Andy. Doesn't mean anything though. I'm sure it's good. Stella Artois. And Jojo said he agrees. Okay, so now we're going up to Massachusetts, and Thomas Meadow is going to. So I'm enjoying the Hurricane High Gravity. I'm going to go put the rest in the fridge because these things. Warmth is not their friend.
No.
Warmth is not their friend.
Warmth might be the friend of an Imperial Stout, however, which is what we're discussing today.
Yeah, right.
Dynasty, because New England just got over a dynasty. Imperial Stout from Night Shift Brewing in Everett, Massachusetts. Sometimes their beers are contract brewed at the Rhode Island Guild of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. This one's at 9.4%, and it was canned on the 12th of December. I have it in a nice tulip glass from Shipyard, their Pugsley series tulip glass.
That's pretty,
and pretty dark as night. However, some light shows the mahogany ruby, dark ruby red tinges, and it's got that nice khaki, pretty sudsy, pretty rocky looking head there. Very big roasty malts to it. I'm getting a lot of dark chocolate out of this one. It's actually pretty clean for what it is. It doesn't have any off brewing technique smells that I can detect. But yeah, a little bit of the so yeah, those are the three things. Not a little bit of anything. It's just the subtle smell of those dark chocolates, some medium towards fuller roasted coffee, and some nice brown bready malts. So yeah, cheers. Nothing too heavy to talk about in the aroma, but what you would expect for an Imperial Stout.
Cheers.
Now, cheers to you. Is it expensive?
I think I have a receipt for it somewhere. Yeah, it's probably a little expensive. Yeah, it was a $4.49 for the singular can, compared to $4.99, which they should have charged me on a regular day. All right. So it is your standard beer price of beer. But this one is going down pretty smooth, easy. It's fairly drinkable for what it is. 9.4 kind of hits you after the beer finishes. I know that, Jay, sometimes you talk about their kind of being chalky-ish mouthfeel and texture in these kind of beers.
Usually lagers, yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of that astringency to it. There's a good deal of like a lactic. I don't know what they're using in the beer. They don't tell me on the website. So a little bit of a lactic, milky kind of a sweetness to it that sort of sours a little bit before it dries, if that makes any sense. I'm getting the dark roasted coffee notes, just like you would taste when you don't have any cream. Maybe that's where the bitterness reminds me of, and that sourness. Definitely chocolate malt. Definitely a dark roasted chocolate malt. And again, a little bit of that chalkiness when it dries, but it's a fairly dry beer for what it is. It's nothing that's like wowing me, knocking my socks off. But this is, I would think, according to BJCPs, maybe if you're looking up a American Imperial Stout, perhaps, I think this would do pretty good in the style guidelines. Once again, the Dynasty Imperial Stout from Night Shift. It doesn't do anything really awesome, but it's not really a crappy beer. It's very well made and balanced for the style. Cheers.
Cheers. I want to mention real fast.
Go ahead.
My 40-ounce bottle was $2.83 after tax. Just so you'll know. Okay, JoJo is next.
All right, guys. So again, I have Banana Bread Beer by Eagle Brewery in Bedford. It's in the UK, and the head's kind of dissipated now, but there was about a finger and a half before. Slightly off color, or I'm sorry, off white. Decent amount of carbonation. Just wanted to read the can here. It says, to this day, Eagle Brewery embraces different perspectives. It means that while others may move cautiously, we soar fearlessly. Take a different view. Fresh bananas pack a whole punch of aromas, while rich malty hops deliver a seriously fruity flavor, all perfectly balanced by a masterful blend. Malt beverage brewed with bananas and banana flavor added. So this is from the UK, but it actually is imported by St. Killian Importing Company out of Everett, Mass, which is where Night Shift is, which is where Eric has his beer from. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, so I guess it's imported out of Everett, Mass. Not gonna lie though, the minute I opened the can, I started to smell the bananas. There's a heavy banana aroma, malty, brown sugar, caramel. Smells really good. Honestly, God, it smells like banana bread. So very pleasant aroma. Pretty excited about this. I've only seen a few reviews on YouTube, not too many. So kind of anxious to try it out. It's got like a copper color, a bit of, I guess you could say, amber. Anyways, going in for the taste, guys. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah,
And I've had that beer before, and I liked it.
Wow, this is good. Malty, getting that reminds me of dessert. You know, I could see this being a good holiday beer. Getting that molasses, brown sugar type of thing, maybe a touch of honey.
Yeah, I don't think it's an everyday drinker. It's sort of like a novelty gift beer.
Yeah,
You know?
kind of takes you back to the holidays around Christmas, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Very pleasant. Not that many, it's not really hoppy at all. I think it's like 18 IBUs, 5.2%. So far, so good. I'm going to mull it over in a little bit, but I like what I'm tasting so far. So,
Okay. That's the first time you've had it?
yeah, it's not bad.
Wow.
I'm enjoying it thus far.
Okay. Yeah, I saw somebody on Alcohol X tried the PBR hard coffee, and he didn't like it at all.
Oh, I haven't tried that, to be honest. But
yeah. Well, if
Blue
you're
Moon,
leaving
Blue
for
Moon
work,
has a similar one out, I think, too.
yeah, I had it before under the old name. It was like a kind of a. It was the decaffeinated, and I thought, nah, I don't want to have it again. I had it because Blue Moon does that. They always change their names. Okay, now Jesse at Bumpy Road Brewery.
On this one, this is the second pour of it, so I did pour it back into the glass. with already having some in. So I think the first pour, it had a larger head to it, but it is kind of just a khaki, kind of medium-sized head. It does die down into just a ring around the top. Color of the beer itself, lighting doesn't do it a lot of justice. It is a red hue at the bottom, but it is quite clear to a point. So a very light kind of colored porter. The aromas in this thing, it's kind of it has a lot of aromas that you would find in like a brown ale. So it kind of has like a brown malt, it has kind of a dark bread note to it. There is a slight amount of like a dried fruit in the aromas. And I'm gonna go in for the first swig. So cheers.
Cheers. And
Cheers.
And yo,
Yeah.
William Kepley has joined, and we're going to get to him soon. Okay.
And the
Jesse is opening the door. Now he's closing the door.
Yeah, I had to let the dog in. It's cold out. So yeah, and the flavors, you get some of the dried fruit. There's that kind of brown malt note, bit of a chalky, like mild chocolate flavor. Very, very slight amount of like a kind of a I just lost my train of thought of what it would be called, but it's the roasted malt type note. Slight amount of bitterness at the tail end. It's kind of on like an earthy note as far as the hop flavor. Most of it's probably just the bittering hops, so not much coming out of the actual hops for flavor, but it does seem to be a bit on the earthy side. Body in this one, it's got like a low side medium body. Carbonation is going into that higher carbonation level, so high medium to just high carbonation. So I don't know this one. I mean, I'm not going to give a score yet, but if you were to call this something like a robust brown ale or something, then I'd be extremely happy with it. But with it being called a porter, it just seems to have more brown ale characteristics than.
Do you think it's thin to be called a porter?
It's at 7.1%. I mean, that's the other thing. This isn't like a 4.5 or 5% porter. It's a 7.1% ABV, and I think the body could have been a little bit more. It could have had more robust notes coming through. Maybe some, richer chocolates, just something.
Nice, looks good.
So, yeah, what I said about the whole brown and porter thing, just keep that in mind when I do end up scoring this. It's a good beer. It's just.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Now on, Jesse's off to handle something. All right. He'll be back. Now, Thrash Metal Homebrew Incorporated.
Yeah, this is light gold. It's got a substantial white foam to it, but it does dissipate really quick. It'd be a 9%. It's got some legs to it. The aroma, getting really good pine, followed by grapefruit, orange zest. Some real zestiness in there. You get grass, herbal hop notes, maybe a little light stone fruit. Graham cracker is coming through big time, and the site says that you should get some sort of a bread note, like a bread dough note, and I'm not picking that up. The flavor, it is a sweet beer, and it goes quickly to the bitterness that lingers alongside the sweetness as well. The mouthfeel in the body, coating and warming, and medium full body. ABV 9%, 70 IBUs, 250 calories. So if you're on a diet, this isn't the beer for you.
Don't
Screw you, dieters.
The hops, they say they use Delta, Bravo, Centennial, Cascade, Calypso, and Mosaic. And the malts kind of interest me. They say pale, which is probably the 2-row, and black malt. But if they use black malt in here, it would be much darker. They probably used a Crystal 40 in here, maybe, on here for the Levabon color. Cheers.
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 you use. And I like that beer, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So is Drunken One.
Yeah, he drinks 6-packs at a time.
No drunken joke.
Amen, bro.
Okay, I'll keep drinking.
Yeah, buddy. Do your thoughts.
Keep drinking, and we're going to go to William.
Drink
Yeah, just doing a good sip.
healthy pours.
Yeah, this thing is medium effervescent CO2 carbonation. Comes up pretty good. It's an upside down snowstorm.
Thanks to Moose River Review Crew.
How many of those have you had tonight, Tash?
Last comment, any last assessment notes before we jump to William Kepley?
I guess not.
Guess not.
Mm-mm.
There's Eric and a volcano. All right.
I'm
Thank you.
trying. It doesn't work.
Okay.
Very well. I need the green or blue screen behind me. Oh, I guess I do.
Right.
Ooh.
All those gimmicks. Now William Kepley has arrived from North Carolina, and he's got a golden beer.
I was thinking about this. 100 years ago this month was when Prohibition was enacted. January 17th, 1920. I got to thinking about that, and that was really what kicked off the non-alcoholic beer movement. And so
Right.
you guys have some nice beers. I'm slumming it tonight. I've got an Old Milwaukee non-alcoholic.
Woo! Wow.
Nice. Love Old Milwaukee.
You're not really slumming it if it's Wildcard Wednesday. That means you can bring what you want.
Okay, mine's more mild card than wild card, but anyway. I purchased these back when I began my chemo treatments, not knowing that my palate would be so destroyed that no beer tasted very good.
Yeah.
So I just shelved these, and once my chemo ended and my palate returned to normal, I've been trying to drink these off. And then I got thinking about the Prohibition, and sort of how that ties in with this. And I read a story in the New York Times about the Prohibition, a very interesting story. I thought it was fascinating. And so I thought I would bring this on and sort of maybe tell a little bit about the history of the Prohibition, what happened, and drink this here. But right here, when I poured it, I had a nice little, about a 2-inch head. It's receded now to about halfway, but there is some lace you can see in the glass. And the aroma is it's liquid grape nut cereal. If you've ever eaten the grape nuts, not the flakes, but the little nuggets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost like what you would feed a pet animal. And that's basically, if you eliminate the alcohol, it's basically distilled down to the graininess of it. And that's exactly what this is. It's a liquid grape nut cereal.
Damn.
So, and I went to a Foothills craft beer brewery tour here in North Carolina last year, and they would actually let you taste the malts. They passed along this little tray, and the pale malts I grabbed a little handful, put them in my mouth, and I said, "Grape nut cereal." And the tour guide, he smiled at me and said, "You're right. That's what it tastes like. It's just a lightly roasted pale malt, And that's basically what this tastes like. I'll take a sip right now, and cheers, guys.
Cheers.
You gotta let us know how it rates on the Taco Bell hot sauce guide.
He will.
Nicely carbonated, very crisp, clean, refreshing, and it is. It's not. There's nothing off-putting about it. It's very drinkable. One thing I like about it, and these are only $3.99 a six-pack for the old Milwaukee versus the Busch and some of the others, which run like $6 to $6.50 something. So it's priced right, and for washing down a pizza, a wing, something. If you don't want to get buzzed, maybe you're driving, you're the designated driver of a group. I think there's a place for these. I drink a lot of decent beers, and it's not. This is what it is. If you're expecting more than much, you're crazy. But for what it is, I think it's pretty well executed, actually. And like I say, if nothing else, it's sort of an education to drink one of these and see what a malt beverage is when it's basically distilled down to the basics. What you're getting is the graininess of it, the pale malts, and that's about it. You're not getting the heft, the mouthfeel, which alcohol contributes. Alcohol can also embellish the flavors of the sweet maltiness. You're not getting none of that. What you're getting is I said, the basics. It's sort of like a football team. You have your offensive linemen. You may not see what they're doing, but they contribute to the overall thing. They're the unsung heroes of the team. And that sort of like this it's an unsung product, but it has its place, I think, in the malt beverage world. Rather than, they call these non-alcoholic beers. I think the more proper description would be it's a soda flavored beer, because they have to add CO2 at the end of these because the yeast is used up in the process that eliminates the alcohol. That's another fascinating subject. There are 3 or 4 different ways that they can eliminate the alcohol, but by losing that yeast, the fermentation is gone. Or like in a normal beer, the end fermentation will actually occur in the bottle or can, the process for many beers. But with this, they have to CO2, they have to pump it with CO2. So I think what you're basically getting is a beer flavored soda. And if you accept it for that, you like the taste of graininess, like pale malted barley, it's fine.
That's a good assessment. And I think that the Old Milwaukee non-alcoholic is one of the oldest brands of non-alcoholic beer around.
I think the can says since 1849. And this one,
that's when Schlitz.
I've got the can here, and this is less than 0.5% alcohol, which means it could be 0.49, whatever, 58 calories. And that 0.5 was adopted during Prohibition. At the start of Prohibition, they did allow a malt beverage up to 0.5, and that stands to this day. But in 1933, public sentiment had turned greatly against Prohibition. And a stopgap measure was they passed the Cullen-Harrison Act in March of 1933, which that was the 3.2% law.
Yeah.
And that stayed into effect until December of 33, when Prohibition was repealed, 1933. But there was that 3.2 step gap, which was 3.2 alcohol by volume. Actually, it was alcohol by weight, which would be 4% by volume. And that stayed in effect until the end of the year, when it was repealed.
And then Oklahoma kept that around until about a year ago.
Absolutely. So there's so much, that leads back to that. I thought that was fascinating, the history of the way Prohibition and the way there's still ramifications of it 100 years later.
Yeah. And in Minnesota, when I went to Minnesota, if you bought any beer in a grocery store, it was 3.2 by weight. You had to go to a liquor store to get the regular beer.
Yeah, that's the way it was here in Colorado for a long time.
But there was in St. Louis during Prohibition, the storage tanks were turned into shelters for the unemployed.
Oh, wow.
It was called Tank Town, St. Louis, Missouri. And they put them on their sides, and people actually lived in those. There's pictures of that on the story in the New York Times. And there's a picture of a lady, if she would open her coat, and inside would be a tank. She had a private, almost like a brewery wrapped around her stomach, where she could give patrons hooch.
Oh, damn.
That sounds like Drunken One.
There's a picture of it in the story. It's a tank attached to her side of her.
Wow.
All she did was open her coat, and she had basically a brewery wrapped around her.
So you get a flash and a shot at the same time.
And she could dispense the hooch from there and give it to the patrons.
Hashtag dispense a hooch. Oh, God.
What it was. But people are ingenious. They're going to figure out ways to get around laws. The story of prohibition was you can't legislate morality. They quickly learned that what was designed to prevent crime only created more crime.
Mm-hmm.
But it was they said that Murray Pickford's mom, she purchased an entire liquor store before prohibition, the day before. She was stocking up.
Wow.
She had the financial means to do that. She just said, well, I'll take everything you've got.
Wow.
Smart lady.
She was a smart woman.
Yes.
And the day that FDR signed I mentioned the 3.2 law, the day he signed that, right when ink hit paper, he said, I think it's a good time to have a beer.
Yeah. Cheers, FDR.
March 1933. And so FDR, that was one of the first things that he did. He was newly elected. And he passed that, said it's a good time to have a beer.
All right.
So
I think that's a great rundown that you gave us. And most of these laws end up doing the opposite, you see.
It's the unintended consequences. And but many politicians sometimes they're too smart for their own good. They don't realize that. But many times the unintended consequences are much worse than the actual. But Thrash, you mentioned about your beer having a little bit of black malt.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible for that to happen. It not adversely affect the color. I've read that actually Pabst Blue Ribbon puts a little bit of black malt in their beer.
They probably did, but it probably so minute that, like you said, it wouldn't change the level bond at all. So,
but my ears perked up. I was pouring my beer off camp when I heard that, because I admit, and I found that, I said, wow, that's really, something. But I'm sure it's a small, minute amount.
Yeah.
But that sort of goes to show that the pains they go to sometimes to try to get these fine-tuned recipes just right.
Oh, exactly. Especially if the recipe's been out there forever and they're trying to, perfect it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was great stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a lot more interesting than the beer itself, but I thought, being prohibition this month, I'm a history buff, and I thought it was sort of timely. It might be sort of interesting to
that's great.
shed a little light on that prohibition.
Bam. Straight up.
Now we're going to the
Cheers.
part that everybody likes. We're going to the scoring. And my Helles Doppelbock are high gravity malt liquor. This is a little aged, but I think at 8.1 it'd be okay. I mean, I would rather if it was made last week, obviously. But
That'll be sweet.
I saved one bottle for my collection, and I can go to Walmart right over there and get a can. I'm sure I can get fresh ones right there. But I wanted out the bottles for the collection, and but bottle or can taste the same. I'm gonna go with. I mean, I'm not saying this thing is a Diablo, but it's definitely fire, and so I'm gonna say it's fire, meaning it's a 93 out of 100. It's an A. It's a fire sauce. It's not a Diablo. It's a fire sauce, and it would go very well with those new Taco Bell dollar tacos that are wrapped in the light taco, and so that the shell doesn't crack and go everywhere.
I could just
I don't
be.
know if you've had any.
I could be crazy, but I don't think anyone's ever had a 40-ounce of malt liquor and then ate Taco Bell. Maybe not. I don't know. Do you think that happened, Joe? Yeah.
If you read the sell sheet from the company, they're saying it will pair so well with so many different food products. But this thing is so heavy bodied that it's almost like a liquid food product. It's like I'm drinking dinner, So
I would think
Hurricane high gravity, Jeremy.
I would think with Taco Bell that might be an explosive combination
Yeah, it would be.
with more unintended.
Well, luckily and ironically today, actually, I shared some Church's Toucan Dine for $6. And I had the spicy and he had the mild. And I also went and got the jalapeno cheese poppers. So
whoa, yeah.
my guts will be burning. Tomorrow morning, my lower guts will be burning, with that spice, but that's okay. Now, Eric, what do you score your beer? So I'm saying an A in English terms.
The Dynasty Imperial Stout from Night Shift Brewing Company, 9.4% alcohol by volume. Some, if not mostly, that really chalky taste in mouthfeel when it was a little bit cooler. When it's warming up, it's not warm, but when it's warming up towards room temperature, that's going away. I'm liking that a little bit more now. I'm also noticing more of a dark cherry and a dark fruity quality. So I think you really should drink this 45 plus degrees warmer. I was originally just going to give it a plain old 90 because it just felt cooler, like it wasn't really great, like mind-blowing Imperial Stout, but it was probably still pretty to a T what the BJCP would consider an Imperial Stout. At this point, I'm good with the 93 out of 100. And I still say the same things. It's not a world-class, mind-boggling stout, but it is very excellent in that category of that beer, and I do think it is a great beer if you're in the New England area. It gets a little bit more chewy and fudgy and complex with the malts, and the alcohol does get masked a little bit more, and you get more sweetness once you let it sit towards the room temperature in the glass. So 93 out of 100. Yeah, I like this. And again, 449.
So
there you go.
Yeah, so 2 Taco Bell fire sauces. Now, JoJo, what do you get?
Yeah.
So
Yours.
Very good. Like I said, it very smooth going down, 5.2%. So it's pretty sessionable, very sessionable. I think Jay kind of hit it on the head when he said it's like a novelty beer kind of thing. Wouldn't have it all the time, but I think it's a holiday beer. Takes you back to Christmas. I am enjoying it. It's about a medium mouthfeel, I would say. And I think Beer Advocate gives it an 81 out of 100. I am going to score higher on this. I'm going to give it a 89. I think it's above average, very good, not quite excellent, but I am enjoying it. I would get it again for sure. And yeah, so 89, not quite like outstanding, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. So
Budweiser is trying.
So you basically got hot sauce.
Exactly.
All right. I like hot sauce from Taco Bell. All right. Now,
me too.
What about you? What about you, Bumpy Road?
So for the Saw Belly Brewing in their Deep Rapture Porter.
There you go, Ronnie.
If I was saying, if this was stated as being a brown ale, and it was like a robust, like bigger brown ale at 7.1%, I would have scored this a 94 out of 100. But since it's saying that it's a porter and it tastes more like a brown ale,
yeah,
I am going to give it an 87.
Disappointment score. Ooh.
Yeah.
Out of range.
Porter ale.
Got some hot sauce there. Got some Taco Bell hot sauce.
Say good morning,
Go any
Doe.
lower, you're gonna be. Okay, now William, what do you score yours?
This will have to be scored on style. The operative word is style.
Yeah, right.
But
Generosity.
but for what it is, I really can't find any fault with it. I mean, look at the lace. It's got a nice.
You gotta go backwards in this
nice
program.
It
There
is.
you go.
That. That's
There you go.
malt, man. That's great malt lacing.
It is. So I would say a 95.
Nice.
All it takes
Wow.
is what it is.
Wow.
It's priced right. I mean, and anybody that, a lot of people get on and they trade these beers, but it's more about they're trying to be a comedian. How many ways can I insult it to say how bad it is? It has nothing to do with the product, but their buddies will clap, pat them on the back. Boy, that was great. But I'm just interested in, I'm actually drinking it, and honestly, I didn't find anything offending, off-putting about it. I mean, it's a beer flavored soda. You take it for that and drink. Like I said, there are occasions you might, if you're a designated driver, maybe you've already had a few brews that day. Maybe you've had a couple shots of whiskey. As a sort of ninth inning, you got a pretty good lead going. You're not going to bring in your closer. You're going to call the bullpen and get an old Milwaukee NA. So,
There you go.
Sounds like drunk one all the
for
way.
that, I think it's okay.
He doesn't ever call for the bullpen when he needs help.
It's good.
So he's got another. He's got some fire sauce right there over there in North Carolina. Now, so what about the Voodoo Ranger? I'm sorry. What about the Voodoo Ranger?
Looky there.
Yeah,
You can
that
dress
looks
that
pretty.
baby up for Halloween.
Very
So
nice.
everyone knows this one, right? This will always score high with me. I had to pick it up tonight. I almost forgot that it was Wildcard Wednesday because I forgot it was Wednesday. But anyway, this always scores high with me. This will always get high 90 with me. So this will be 96.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Ooh, you're getting close to Diablo sauce over there now. I like that beer, and the price is right. And I don't understand why a lot of people like to slag on New Belgium. You read a lot of reviews and watch videos, and it's like New Belgium is an easy target, and I said they take cheap shots at them, but
Whatever.
They put out a lot of good beers. I'm in Colorado. They're based out of Colorado. You gotta go with the home team.
Sometimes it's good stuff too. Yeah, what up?
Yep. Fat Tire. I mean, you can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
no,
They got a lot of good product.
I like that.
Yeah, you gotta let your personal bias or your preconceived notion on things kind of not cloud your judgment overall. Sometimes I think a lot of people may just not be a fan of what William's drinking, so they're just going to give it a bad rating. Or, oh, you're drinking a banana beer. Oh, you must be a girl. I'm like, whatever, guys. Please, come on, just rate it for what it is.
It's not only that. It's like Stone IPA. I mean, Ron had it last week, and the hop characteristics compared to the Voodoo IPAs are they're worlds away from each other. And
Right.
I absolutely love the way that New Belgium did theirs, where Ron may like the way Stone does their, hop selection. It's all in your taste. And like William said, you can everyone can put down a beer, but trying to bring a beer up, trying to put it on a pedestal, that's when you get the criticisms. So,
you know who doesn't like the way that Stone hops their beers is Miller Coors. Oh shit!
ooh. Ooh,
Who's
Jerry,
saying that?
Jerry. Oh, there go you people in your.
yeah, I call this is a palate cleanser.
The
Sorry.
Light Beer Brigade.
There you go.
Oh, is that what we're gonna call them Wednesdays from now on? The Light Beer Brigade. We're the Light Beer Brigade.
Light beer.
Right
Wednesdays.
now.
Ah, Molson Coast.
Oh, nice. I love that. Good choice, Bobby.
That's a slap shot.
Yeah, it was.
Is that a hockey joke?
You meathead, you.
Now, before we get off the air, off the internet, two things. Next Wednesday is going to be the first Wednesday in February, and that's usually a theme. And my idea for a theme is carnival beers for carnival. Well, I already got mine in the fridge. I know what beer I'm drinking for carnival time because it's carnival time.
So I'm gonna have to probably hit you up, Ron, because we don't have any carnivals here.
Pick a beer you would party with, I guess, right?
Right.
So,
yeah, what does exactly
Wildcard
what
Wednesday.
carnival beer?
IPA.
Really?
What I mean, if you were going to a carnival parade, what beer would you drink? I know which one I'm drinking. I'm going to bring a Beta Mardi Gras Bach.
I might try to find a Beta. I can find a Beta beers in my area.
I can show you the bottle. It's got a parade and it's got people at the parade on the bottle.
So a
But
carnival
I
beer
don't know
would
what
be
to
like,
tell the other people.
What a carnival beer be like for a festive occasion?
Yeah, you have to have the beads, I think.
Like carnival. No,
A
mine
beer
is
you
a
would drink on
carnival
a
Bach.
cruise.
You might find Mardi Gras.
So like a carnival or circus type themed beer.
Clown shoes.
Carnival.
what I mean,
Oh, Fat Tuesday kind of beers.
what I'm saying is what I'm saying is carnival season. We're in carnival season right now.
Mardi Gras beer.
we're
What you would
gonna be
drink
in
on Bourbon Street when the parade's going by? What would you drink?
David Garlapede would drink that natural ice, right?
Natural
I
ice.
saw that photo. Oh, Bud Ice, right, John. Whatever you would
Jean-Pierre
drink
was
on the
drinking,
street. Ooh.
Bud Ice.
but I would drink
Yeah,
see, FACP said he's got Mardi Gras Bach in the fridge, and I saw somebody buying a 6-pack of Mardi Gras Bach.
Let's say if you can
Now
get
he said I would drink. I guess in your states, y'all, you don't get beers that are. Oh, you can shamelessly plug your channel anytime you want on
you
my
just
channel.
did. Cheers. We'll go check out your channel, good sir. Sounds like a fun time.
What I mean is he can do it anytime in the future.
Yeah.
I've got the Mardi Gras Bach. There are some other carnival beers made around here. We got parades coming up soon. We got the Crew of Little Rascals, which is the children's parade. We've got
Got fun
Crew de
times
View. Yeah, we got Crew of Proteus, Mid City, Carrollton, Caesar. Oh no, I'm sorry, Caesar got discontinued.
What? I like Caesar salad.
Tux, but I don't like Tux because they're like a risque, lowbrow parade. But
So it sounds like it's for drugging one in me. All right.
you would like it probably, but it's about how lowbrow your tastes are. I would
Madonna.
prefer high.
You can tell.
I might prefer high
gravity beers,
and you prefer low comedy. What?
You can tell who's had the high gravity beers tonight.
Not even one. Damn.
I had some, and I'm saying that I prefer high comedy, and Eric prefers low comedy. But
Ooh, I prefer heavy metal. What?
no, you said you would like Tux. Anyway,
yeah, I don't know.
your final
Never heard of it.
final comment. So, my final comment is that Hurricane High Gravity.
Too sweet.
Hard to say.
It might be.
It's not sweet. It's not too sweet. I drank this glass and maybe another 10% extra over this glass, and it wasn't too sweet. I had it dead cold in the freezer.
Yeah, it's not syrupy to you? I mean, I guess it gets better as you drink it because it's high gravity.
No, no, and it's not
Maybe.
because of the drinking. It's no, I just think it's executed well. It's I'm sure the calorie count is mind blowing, but it comes across like the company claims it's smooth, and at 8.1 you wouldn't believe it, but yeah, it's one of the better high gravity malt liquors you can get. I think it's all right. I like it. I used to drink it back in 2005 before Hurricane Katrina hit. I did stop drinking it though because I felt like it was too. Huh?
No pun on
Yeah,
hurricane.
ironically, the hurricane hit and it made me stop drinking it. But yeah, I think you should, at least if you're a beer reviewer and you like to check things out, you need to give it a chance with an open mind. Don't do like William's talking about and just attack it to get some cheap laughs. We've watched enough of those videos in our lives to
Right.
make us to nauseate us. All right. So any other final comments? Feel free to speak. You don't have to go in order.
Again, a Dynasty Imperial Stout from Night Shift Brewing Company. I just started to notice a little bit of that anise black licorice note. But what I wanted to say is just because in my book here with this Imperial Stout, it's the Imperial Stout, maybe the American Stout to a T very well. Just because it's to a T a very well done beer doesn't mean, and I don't mean to pick on Beer Advocate or anybody like that, but it doesn't always have to be the most extreme, the most intense, the most in-your-face beer to be a really awesome, still amazing and an enjoyable beer experience. And that is exactly what this beer is. Price point alone may cater towards what you buy, even at $4.49 for the singular can. I still think it's a pretty good deal. But again, don't let it just being just a good beer in that style and being well to that style, disappoint you. Beer can be just plain old good without having to be extreme all the time. Cheers.
I'm
Night Shift's doing a
100.
great job.
I totally.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that comment. Actually,
I know when I go to the beer store tomorrow, first thing I'm going to do is ask the owner,
I was gonna punch him.
in your store, can you find me what you would consider a carnival beer?
Carnival
beer. Okay.
Ooh,
Not Carnival or all right.
Or do you have a brewing company beers?
we don't say Carnival here. We say Carnival. We're not in Brazil after all.
You're not in Brazil.
Nor are
Hey,
you
rock in Rio.
He'll probably just grab me a Nabita.
or Bud Ice's.
Here's some
just get
purple
yourself
haze.
a seltzer. Come on, man.
Night Shift makes some seltzers now. Come on.
Yep, they're good too.
Yeah, good one tonight, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah. William.
You're welcome. Somebody's asking FACP monitoring he lives close to me. He's asking if we're going to have Fandango Friday this week. If so, the crew is from last week. We're going to have the crew from last week, but like I'm saying right here,
That's for you.
One ring?
Wow.
Wrong number.
now DB started off very well last Friday with very coherent and quite accurate, I thought, intelligent beer review. And then by the end of the video, it was like, and I was like, not going to name who DB is, but
No, who was
I said, I decided I wouldn't keep that posted. That gives the wrong impression of what my channel's about. My channel is really not about life endangering and destroying alcohol consumption, but
Politics.
other people might.
Crap.
I like the politics. I don't like the projecting a bad.
Oh, yeah.
I just think.
I was gonna say I need to go watch that, but you took it down. Damn it.
Well, it was like I said. It started off very well. It was this particular person talking about, this Modelo Negro is very interesting. He gave some really interesting. He gave some very, like I said, coherent tasting notes. But then we had a problem with some Jim Beam being thrown in copious, and so things sort of broke down as expected. He says that's what made it entertaining, but
Hopefully somebody captured that before you got to take it down.
oh yeah, they probably got
It may
some
be
people made
working out there in cyberspace somewhere, so be careful. It may
Pretty much in
more
the
than likely, more than likely it's already been parodied and it's been what you call it
On the Tonight
what do you
Show.
call it when you what do you call it when you take a long video and you make it shorter? Abridged, yeah.
Reader's
Because
Digest.
Fandango Friday's still out there. The infamous Fandango Friday. There was no way they were going to let. Right, it fell off the rail to say the least. But there's no way they're going to take that down. That Meet Me at the Bridge is there forever. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Beer snobbery is not what HG stands for. HG stands for honest, straight up in your face reviews. Right. Yes.
Sometimes the reviews are
Indeed.
really good and it goes to your head. That's what it sounds like would
Okay.
happen, right, Ron?
Well, yeah, if you
Cheers,
drank
Robert.
half a bottle of Jim Beam, it will go to your head. I don't care how big or small you are.
Wow. On your channel, they did that? Oh my God.
Well, they made a good effort to do it. I don't know if they actually accomplished it, but it was
What did he score his beer, anyways? I don't remember.
he gave it a
So an A+ then.
which I thought was a fair score.
99.99999.
Oh,
And people were very impressed with the easy chair. They thought, wow, that's some well-used leather and seemed comfortable. And
What's up, Robert?
all right, folks. Well, we got to end it now. So thanks for watching this broadcast. And next week, get ready for Carnival Beers. And I got mine. The I.B.R.G Mardi Gras Bach. Where's Eric? What happened to Eric?
Is he in the basement?
No, he must have got a call from the heavy metal people. All right.
Heavy metal people.
Every other word was the F word. Yeah, no joke.